Well, I just read a post on Facebook from an Air Force veteran that lost 3 limbs in the Gulf War. And they're trying to cheat him out of $7,000 of his money from veterans. Not benefits, not health, not medicine, but actual cash they're trying to take away from him that they say he's not entitled to, that he paid into and paid for with both service and parts of his body. His letter to Obama started out, this is Obama's 165th round of golf he started yesterday since he's been president. And keep in mind, he's playing at a range that the grounds fees are more than that $7,000. Obama's paying more than $7,000 for a round of golf that they're stealing from an American veteran that lost 3 limbs. And he says that he's proud of and supports our veterans. Yeah. He sure is, as long as it benefits his political agenda. And that's all this is a political agenda. I see it more and more every day. First, I didn't like him from the get-go, nothing to do with the color of his skin. The simple fact, he never told us nothing. He hid stuff, he lied, he said that there's nothing to see there and anything else. And everything that he lied about or said there's nothing to see about has become a scandal, a background. That is beyond belief, unbelievable. I mean, his high school records released the other day. His number one thing he did in high school was marijuana. His best friend was his pot dealer, the President of the United States. Now, everybody says we're living in a modern world, but that ain't modern. That's just stupidity. We're going down a route with his dividing us by race, dividing us by politics, dividing us by religion. We're going down a route that they want where anything is possible. We don't have to worry about whether there's a God. We don't have to worry about whether there's something to pay for it or whatever. The problem is, in this world, there's always somebody that has to pay the penalty, pay the price, pay the piper, whatever you want to call it. And this thinking that there's an endless checkbook is just ridiculous. Yesterday I sat here with family and friends. We celebrated the holiday. And I made sure they all knew about the military because I was I served. It wasn't just eating and partying and laughing and everything else. They knew about what really happened, why the day's founded. I just sit here reading articles like that. He wrote a letter to the president. And of course, I went to the White House webpage and posted his article because nobody else is. And the White House will delete it. Same way they always do. They don't want anything that's negative on there about Obama. First president that doesn't want his negative stuff put out there, at least the rest of them, even Clinton, with his, being the sexual pervert he was, he didn't back away from it. It's unbelievable. I want to believe that someday we'll have America back. And there's people, every time I say that, they say, yeah, you want to go back to 1950s where blacks were suppressed, women were suppressed. No, I don't. That's bullshit. I want the America back where it was safe for my kids to play outside. And if a bad guy came along, he was more afraid of us than he was the police. Because I'm sitting here, I'll show you. I got 2 guns on. See, 2 of them. I wear them all the time. I own a small business. My guns are on in my business. And people respect me for that. I get people come in and applaud that. I stopped a drug deal in the parking lot the other day. I didn't do it myself. I called the cops. Cops come in. The first reaction was, why didn't I go out there and do something? Well, taxes pay them. Let's let them do it. Because God knows if somebody, a good citizen, tries to do something, the Obama administration is going to say it was a poor, deprived black boy that was selling drugs and the white guy that shot him is at fault no matter what. Like the guy in Georgia that getting his head beat in, kills a black guy. Misunderstood. The guy in North Carolina, black boys breaking his house, he shoots them. The parents are suing. He shouldn't have shot to kill him. He should try to wound him. You got, Atlanta. 2 teenage black boys shoot a baby in the face and kill it in the carriage, telling the mother they're going to do it. They're misunderstood. We can't try them as adults. They're misunderstood kids. Shoot a baby in the face. Come on. We go every day of our lives trying to get ahead. And for the last 260 years in America, there was something to get ahead of. Obama has taken that goal away. There is no carrot at the end of the stick no more with Obama. He has taken the carrot and he has given it away. He just expects us to keep looking for it. It's going to be there again. It's going to be there again. It's going to be there again. Keep trying because we know it'll be there again. He has no intentions of putting it back. He wants full-blown socialism. He wants full-blown, democracy. And democracy don't work. People, this is a republic. I've said it in every video I've done. The United States of America is a republic. It's not a democracy. Democracies fail the same as communism fails. Communism is a group of people control everybody. Sooner or later, the people rise up. Democracy, the majority vote rules. And again, sooner or later, people rise up. Because if you get in a city where the majority of the people want all the houses painted pink and you hate pink, well, if they vote all the houses got to be painted pink, then you have to. That's a democracy. That's not what this country was. This is a representative republic. In other words, you had a right to do what you wanted to do with your property. You didn't have a right to tell me what to do with mine. We see this every day with telling veterans they can't fly flags and telling people they can't put up support for liberal or conservative beliefs. Boy, you don't say nothing when there's a liberal sign up there, but you get a conservative sign up and they start bitching. I just watch the news and watch it and say one day somebody in that news is going to say a man stood up and said enough is enough. And when that day comes, he's going to have a lot standing with him. It's just that simple. There's nothing to... Everybody makes out like it's going to be a big deal to stand your ground. It is no big deal to stand your ground. Yes, there's repercussions. And if you choose to stand your ground in the wrong area, the wrong way, you may end up in jail. But as the saying says, I would rather sit in a jail cell, standing up for what's right, than live free, cowering under what somebody else might do to me. I'm trying to be polite about this, because I get carried away sometimes, and I use words that I shouldn't use. And sometimes you need that anger. Sometimes you need that stuff. A good example of anger is they don't play no pictures of 9/11 on television that angers people. We need to anger people. I'm so proud. I was so happy and so proud of a country that wasn't America the other day. Angola, Africa, outlawed Muslim religion. They said it is not a religion, it is a cult. They tore down all the mosques, they're blowing them up, they're running the people out of the country. Finally, somebody that sees it for what it is. A religion tells you how to live in God's eyes. It doesn't tell you how to force other people to live. And that was just amazing. And more countries are going to start doing that. It's coming. God knows it's coming. You see all these people passing laws against gay marriage and judges overruling them. Well, first of all, because you have a right does not mean you have a legal obligation. That's what the whole purpose of the 10th Amendment was. They may have a right to live together as a couple, but they don't have the legal standing to do it. And that's what these judges are trying to force the legal standing down. The legal standing for that is determined by the state, not the federal government. It's simple. The articles of the Constitution simply say that in no other terms. Insurance is the same way. Obamacare is absolutely unconstitutional. The Supreme Court figured Obama wouldn't be reelected. They've said that. And that's why they let it stand. We get it out of there. Well, they made a mistake guessing that way. The articles of the Constitution say you cannot be forced to do anything as a mass. They're so happy to read this non-belief line into the First Amendment, separation of church and state, because it's not there. It's nowhere in the Constitution. It was mentioned by a Supreme Court judge, I think in the 1920s or 30s, and they kind of worded it into the Constitution when it's not there. But, if you want to do that same thing, we can word in, there's nowhere in there, and it specifically says you cannot be forced to buy something, and en masse. Just like you cannot be forced to be one religion, you cannot be forced to, house soldiers, you cannot be forced to incriminate yourself, you can't be forced to buy something, but yet they do it. I mean, they say, what's the difference between auto insurance and health insurance? Well, I don't like the idea you have to buy auto insurance either. You shouldn't have to. Take your chances. You kill somebody, you go to jail if you can't pay the damn bill. That's what I say. Take your chances. But you don't have to buy a car. You have to breathe. And buying a car means you have to have car insurance. If you don't buy it, you don't need it. Under Obamacare, you have to have insurance to breathe. You know, just stop and think about that. The government that we pay taxes to, we support, we elect, we used to teach our kids was representative. We say every day that we control is telling us we have to buy something. I mean, wouldn't that be like your boss telling you you had to buy a red Chevy or a blue Ford because he's writing the paycheck? Or just supplying you with a job, I mean, permanently. I can't get my head around the idea that these people are buying into this stuff. All these people that thought Obamacare was just going to pay for their insurance, they found out it doesn't. So many of these liberal welfare moms are saying, where's my free insurance? Because they didn't get it. And God knows these subsidies that they're putting in there. When you finally realize, because sooner or later, Obama's going to be out, us conservatives will get control again. It happens all the time. The economy will pick up, and then all these liberals are going to be, oh my God, I got to pay that money back because it's in there. It really is. Under Obamacare, all these subsidies you're getting, when we are in power and you have to go to work, because we will make it to where you have to go to work. That's a simple fact that happens every time. Under his rules and his Obamacare, you have to pay the subsidy back. Think about it. You're getting $300-400 a month subsidy for your insurance. 5 years down the road, you know, that's what, $3,600 a year, we'll say. 5 years, 18 grand. You're going to get a job, and then the government's going to come in and say, well, we're attaching your pay to take that 18 grand back. And if you get a starting level job of $30,000-40,000 a year, that's half your salary. Going back. You know, read Obamacare. There's all kinds of scary stuff in there. But, you know, we sit here, and there's other people like me to blog and do this stuff. And I watch them. And they try to wow factor, they try to shock, they try to scream, they try to cry, everything else. I want you to just stop and think about it. You look at me, redneck hip cowboy type. Well, that's a fact. This redneck hip cowboy type owns a small business, served in the military, served the country in law enforcement after he got out of the military. He's very popular in the town here, and I'm in a northern town of Ohio. I don't belong up here. That's where I ended up living. And there's people in this town want to run me for mayor with the long hair, the hat, the guns, don't even own a suit, because straight talk gets it. No bullshits, no lies, no exaggeration, just simply state the facts. My number one thing I tell my wife, my kids, and now my grandkids and everything else is don't volunteer information. Simply answer the question as straightforward as you can. Because if you elaborate, you're going to make a mistake, and you're going to give somebody something to come after you at. It's like so many times I tell my wife, cop pulls you over? Yes, sir. Here's a license, sir. No, sir. Don't volunteer a damn thing. You know, our government is awesome at that. I mean, I get a call every once in a while from ATF, Homeland Security, you know, Marshal's Department, which that's where I used to work. And they ask questions. And I tell them, no, I'm not volunteering nothing. Especially on the phone where it can be recorded and manipulated. You want to talk to me? Get yourself in a vehicle, drive to my business, drive to my house, come in, talk to me. You know, if we'd all live by that, what you are is what you are. Don't put on no exaggerations. You also got to keep in mind it's important to live up to your mistakes and your fuck-ups. I said fuck-ups. Watch my language. People who want to say, look at me, look how good I'm doing, and not tell you about their mistakes, that's because they cheated something in there they found their mistakes and caused them to cheat to get ahead. Your mistakes make you a better person, and you have to live up to them and tell people about them. Because if you tell people about your mistakes, people are more believable of you. Hey, he's human. He didn't just pop out a genius and do something. He made mistakes, he learned by them, and he got ahead. And that's one reason wrong with our president. Obama doesn't want to admit that he's ever made a damn mistake. And he's made more of them since he's been president than everybody, than the 43 of them before him did. He goes, it says that young black boys should not be punished in school for what they do. I just read another article on there, that black students are 60% higher for suspended and expelled. Young black girls are 40% higher than white girls for suspended and expelled. Would you ever stop and think about it? That's the way they act. Look at a majority of the young black girls. They think the world revolves around them. It's all somebody else's fault. It should be this way. It should be that way. I'm going to be this way no matter what type of stuff. It's the respect. They have no respect for themselves, let alone anybody else. And you talk about the higher majority of blacks in prisons, expelled from school and everything else. It's because of what they're doing. It's not that there's a double standard. There's rules, and they break the rules at a higher ratio. Because they think they can get away with it. They're entitled to special privileges. And we've got a president that's been telling them now for 5.5 years they're entitled to special privileges. See, prior to him, they thought they were entitled to them, but nobody told them they were. So they didn't know what to do. They were afraid to open their mouths and say it. Now he's telling them they're entitled. They're opening their mouth and trying to get it. And like I said before, it's all going to go away eventually. He's not going to be in there forever. You're not going to get Hillary. You're not going to get any of the rest. You're going to get a conservative one day. And when you get a conservative, it's all going to change. God, is it going to change so much? You're going to go from getting a free check and getting a free food to having to go to McDonald's to work and get a discount to buy your burger. Minimum wage stuff. That makes me think of that. Well, how'd it work out for, Oregon there? Well, they raised the minimum wage of $15 an hour, and McDonald's fired every clerk they had and put in self-operating kiosks at the cash registers. You go in, you punch on the screen what you want, you put your money in, you slide your card through, and it's delivered to you. No salespeople working at all. So that $15 an hour really helped them out, didn't it? They went from making $8-9 an hour and having a paycheck to now not having no paycheck at all. Which means Oregon's unemployment rate's going to go up. Their money's going to go down that they have for things, which means they're going to be asking the federal government for more money, which means Obama's going to write more checks that he can't cover, and it's going to cost everybody in the United States more money because Oregon raised their minimum wage to $15 an hour. Minimum wage jobs weren't designed to make your life and live a career on it. Walmart, McDonald's was not supposed to be career jobs unless you decided you was going to buy one, franchise one, or become in management. Those were the jobs for the high school girl or her boy to get in the summertime or after school, so he could have money for gas and car and stuff when he was supposed to go to school. And if you don't, and believe me, don't go to school. I got a couple of degrees. My son's working on one. My daughter's a doctor. Other daughter's in law school. Stepdaughter's a pharmacist assistant. School works, but you don't have to have school. Every day you can hear, if you go to conservative radio, which all of us do, liberals don't. In North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Oklahoma, there are jobs that pay between $75,000 and $200,000 a year for high school graduates in the oil field. It's work. Oh God, it's work. You're going to get dirty. You're going to get sweaty. You're going to bust your ass. But you're going to make the kind of money that in 1 year you could buy a house and a car. Pay for it. And they need people. Thousands of jobs. Now my age, 53, and as you can see, neck brace on, I had surgery. I can't do it or I'd be up there. God knows I'd be up there if I could do it. I run my little business here in town and, about to go broke. But that's the way the economy is and the way Obama's making things. But you just got to stop and think. You can't live next to mom and dad forever. That was a time in this country where little Billy, little Susie stayed on the farm with mom and dad, and little Billy got married, moved down the road, started his own farm. Little Susie moved 2 towns over with Tommy that she married from Farmer's Though, and they only seen each other on Sunday church and holidays. And then it went to, little Billy and Susie go to college. They born in Tennessee, they go to college in Tennessee, they get a job offer in Texas, North Carolina, they move there, they see the family on the holidays, and phone calls. Somewhere in the early 2000s, we went back to this thing where I don't want to leave the neighborhood. I want to grow up here, live in mom's house, never have to leave mom, never have to leave the neighborhood, everything else. Can't do that. Small towns have a limit of what they can do. As a kid, you're supposed to get an education or move someplace where there's jobs. You're supposed to move to the job. Mom and dad moved to the town that you were born in for a job. They worked that job, they paid their house off, they paid their cars off, now they can live in that house. Now you have to move to where there's a job. You can't stay around mom and dad forever. I just sit back and think, I did that. Went in the military, went to California, from West Virginia to California. Lived out there. Got out of the military, come back to West Virginia. Me and the first wife wouldn't see eye to eye because she liked the prestige of the military and the Marshal Department, stuff like that. I went to driving a truck after all that. Get a divorce, I went to Mississippi where my grandparents are from. Love Mississippi. Wish I was still down there. But, it's go where you can find work. Don't worry about where your family's at. I've hit a lot of things on this one. This one was just a general one. After the, Memorial Day thing yesterday, I needed to do one to just vent. We sit here, play on our computers, we play on our video games, we go to Walmart, and we wonder, why is our life not getting any better? Well, mine was on a fast track to getting better. My store was doing good, family was doing good, and then I had the neck problems, and this has put me in major financial problems. But I'll get out of them. Even if it causes me to lose the business, I'll step back, I'll start another, and keep going. Because that's what you got to do. You can't say, oh, life is over, pity, poor, pitiful me. Nah, keep going. I've watched little businesses in town, which I've helped a few other businesses get started. I've watched them, and I've seen the mistakes they made. And a few of them asked for help. Most of them just want me to help them start and let them do it. And I can see they're going to fail. And in my own instance, I do some things that are failing. And when I realize it, I try to correct them. But, it's human nature of when you run your business. No employees, it's me and my store. It's my store. That store is me. I have a tendency to treat it like me. When I want something, I buy it. End of story. But you can't do that all the time. See, that's what Obama does. He wants something, he goes and gets it. He don't worry about how he can pay for it. At least I have to worry about how I'm going to pay for it. He don't have to worry about it. But, I wish people would at least think before they jump. Obama's got people jumping without even being awake, let alone thinking. And, if anybody ever has any questions, feel free to send a question on one of these posts. I'll answer it in the next video. I wish we could get more interaction across the country. Because until we get organized and get more interaction across the country, we're not going to be able to do anything in our local areas. So think about all of it and let me know what you think. Bye.